Good morning, guys. It is another day. I'm going to be testing this morning, but I am warning you, I am fully expecting these lines to either be really faint or almost gone by now. I will definitely explain to you why in a minute, but let me just get this stuff ready and I will talk to you guys about what happened yesterday. Alright, so I'm going to do the Walmart 88-cent one. So yesterday you guys watched the video. I took the first response test and it came out looking a lot fainter than the day before. So naturally, of course, we were worried about that meaning that my HCG had dropped. And then throughout the day, I've been feeling perfectly fine. I feel fine right now. But throughout the day, I had one little tiny bit of spotting, and to call it spotting is really an overstatement. It was like a very faint light kind of like how I had the first couple days when I was first getting my positive pregnancy test. Very light brown, like watered down almost. When I initially wiped, it wasn't even on the tissue, but it was kind of like when I dabbed it a little bit the second time just to see, and there was some very light spotting there. No pain or anything, so I talked to hubby and he felt like that I should go to the hospital because the doctor did say, I'm about to dip a first response. The doctor did say if I had any bleeding whatsoever or any pain or discomfort to definitely go to the ER just in case, because I'm still at risk for an ectopic and we don't know what is going on so far with this pregnancy. So I did end up going to the ER. Let me just dip this first response. And it was crazy in the ER. I instantly regretted going as soon as I entered there. There were so many sick people. They had the COVID side full. And then the side that I was put on, there were still people that were visibly sick on that side. Not sure if it was COVID related, but it was pretty disgusting. There was people throwing up and just not a place I wanted to be, especially with the possibility of being pregnant. So let's set that aside. And I also have the clear blue. So I was in the hospital for 4 hours yesterday. They did blood work and they did a ultrasound. They tried to do an ultrasound like over the belly area. That didn't work. They didn't see nothing, so they did a transvaginal ultrasound. And you know, the person that does the ultrasound doesn't really tell you anything, so I had to wait until I saw the doctor so that they could give me the results. That is the clear blue. So, and then another weird thing is they had to retake my blood for some reason. I never even got to be in a room. So they did the blood work, then they went to do the ultrasound, sent me back to the waiting room, then they came back out and said they had to retake the blood work, and they did it right there in the waiting room. That's how crazy the hospital was. They didn't even have space for me to go back there. So to make a long story short, they did not see anything in my ultrasound at all whatsoever, which I thought was kind of weird because when she did the ultrasound and then when she left the room to let me get dressed and everything, I took a glance at the screen and I saw a couple pictures before they disappeared off the screen, and I swear I saw a little tiny black circle, just an empty black circle, which I'm not really familiar with how a transvaginal ultrasound looks like when you're not pregnant, but I could have sworn that they were at least going to tell me that I just had an empty gestational sac or something like that. But when the actual doctor was giving me the results, she said that they found nothing at all. And I'll show you guys. So here on my paperwork, they put that I that I went in because I was bleeding, even though it was very faint. And not to mention, I haven't had any more spotting after that little tiny spot. I didn't spot anything at the hospital or after that. So they did a trans-abdominal ultrasound, didn't see nothing. So then they did the transvaginal one. So they put that there was no intrauterine, I think that's how you say it, pregnancy identified. They checked my ovaries, they checked my fallopian tubes. They didn't see absolutely nothing. So I guess that is one plus to take away from this, that this might not have been an ectopic pregnancy, but we're still unsure. She took a good while trying to find my ovaries. They found my right ovary. I have no mass on that one, but she never did. Well, I guess she didn't tell me this, but she wrote down on here that she couldn't see my left ovary. So no gestational sac identified, but they do recommend that I continue HCG testing, and we'll just have to see what the doctor, I haven't got my blood results from my doctor yesterday. So unfortunately, the blood test that they did give me yesterday resulted in a 44 HCG. So that is definitely heartbreaking to go from 304 a couple days ago to just 44 yesterday in the afternoon. That definitely means that this might be resulting in a miscarriage. The only thing that I am happy is that this is not a tubal pregnancy, because that was a main concern. Although everything is still up in the air right now. Nothing is really confirmed. Today, when my OB does call me to give me the results of yesterday's blood tests I had taken with them at their office, she will probably give me some guidance on what are the next steps, because the hospital just recommended that I just continue seeing my OB for more blood work, just to track that everything continues to go down. I'm kind of concerned because I haven't had any bleeding, no symptoms whatsoever. I feel a little nauseous this morning, but I feel like the pregnancy symptoms have kind of went away, but I'm not having miscarriage symptoms. And just a tiny little bit of spotting yesterday that has completely went away, no cramping. And I don't really know what's going on and if my body is just gearing up for a natural miscarriage. I am crossing my fingers this does not happen at any point this weekend. I just need to get through this weekend, and then whatever happens can happen afterwards, because like I've mentioned, this weekend is pretty big and I just cannot be dealing with a miscarriage right now. So I will be speaking to my doctor later. I will let her know that I already had an ultrasound at the hospital, so they'll probably cancel my Monday ultrasound because it's not really going to be needed at this point. They'll just keep tracking me with HCG. So 88-cent test does look very faint, but the line is still there. First response still has a faint line, but definitely definitely fainter than the past days. I did buy more first response yesterday, so I'm not sure what my HCG would be at this point if yesterday evening it was at 44. Clear blue still showing a very faint line too. Now, this does not mean that I am losing my faith at all. I do believe in a God that can definitely turn things around and perform miracles, but at this point I also have to be realistic that this is probably going to end in a miscarriage. I guess they would consider it a chemical pregnancy, because if the miscarriage happens before they saw anything in the ultrasound, I think it's considered a chemical. But I just find it so weird that they did not see absolutely anything. I even double checked with them. I was like, are you sure? They didn't see anything at all, not even like an empty sac. And she said no, that they put down, they didn't see anything. And I feel like by now, especially with how strong my lines were at one point, shouldn't at least the empty gestational sac be there or be visible or something? But I guess we will continue waiting and seeing. I felt like the hospital trip was a waste of my time. I wasted 4 hours there and didn't really get any answers besides the fact that my HCG had dropped. I was hoping for some answers with the ultrasound. I was hoping they would see something. The fact that they didn't see absolutely nothing, just, I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm just still waiting for answers. I'm still gonna have to continue following up with the doctor, and then eventually I'm just gonna follow her lead on what she decides is the best option to do next. If my HCG drops to 0 and I don't miscarry on my own, then I'm sure they have options for that, but hopefully it just happens by itself. And then moving forward, trying to conceive again, she's definitely going to recommend the HCG test, which I kind of did not do last time she recommended it, but this time I definitely want to go ahead and proceed with that. So that way we can see what happened with my tubal ligation, which tubes are opened, if it's safe for us to continue TTCing. If this ends in a miscarriage, another question is, what caused this miscarriage? Was it something wrong with the baby? Was it my low progesterone levels? So that is something else that I need to talk to her about, because I did have pretty low progesterone on that first blood test. So I don't know. It leaves it into question whether this pregnancy would have kept growing if I would have had prescription progesterone. I've been feeling lots of little twinges and nothing painful, but it's been back and forth from left to right, left to right. They also said that me not feeling any pain or anything on any specific side is a good sign that this was not an ectopic. But again, it's all up in the air, because if they couldn't find a pregnancy anywhere, it was just unidentified, that we don't really know. So first response, still a line there, but faint. Clear blue is a little fainter. And the 88-cent one definitely got lighter. So I know this is not the good news everybody was hoping for. That is yesterday's test that I took, the clear blue one. Compared to the past ones, it did get a little bit lighter, not too much. That was the first response that I took yesterday. Compared to the one the day before, definitely a lot lighter. And then today's is definitely even more lighter. So I'm going to continue testing just for me to track the lines going down, and until I get more blood work. I don't know what the doctor's going to request of me today. I have to let her know that this weekend I'm not available at all, so maybe my Monday ultrasound appointment will get replaced with a blood work appointment. I'm not sure if she's going to want to do any more ultrasounds. I guess it depends on my HCG. If my HCG goes up at all at any point, then I'm pretty sure she might want to do another ultrasound. Just schedule it for a little bit later. But I imagine my HCG will just continue dropping, and then this will just end in a miscarriage. But like I said, God is a God of miracles, and I am not losing my faith whatsoever. Even if this one doesn't end up in a successful pregnancy, I am still very hopeful for the future, because they made it sound like this was not an ectopic, so that makes me feel a little bit better about my chances down the line in the future. But I will definitely be getting that HCG at some point, and we'll get a little bit more answers on what happens with my tubal ligation, since this is my second pregnancy after my tubal ligation. And you guys at least got to witness this pregnancy, these positive tests, because I feel like before, when I was just telling the story about how I got pregnant after my tubal ligation, I feel like a lot of people were still skeptical and didn't really believe me and were questioning me. But you guys got to see this roller coaster of a journey as it started. And so you guys can definitely see that it is possible to get pregnant after a tubal ligation. Things happen, things re-heal themselves, or maybe the doctor did not perform the surgery well. We really won't know until I do the HCG test, because for sure at some point in my tubes, not sure which side, something must have went wrong in order for me to be able to conceive in the first place. So I'll let you guys know what my doctor suggests, and any future appointments, I'll update you guys on that. I am feeling good. I do appreciate all of the prayers that I've gotten. Unfortunately, this isn't a happy ending like we all wanted. I really wanted that, not only for me, but for you guys as well. But I'm not feeling sad or anything. I'm feeling good. I'm just hoping and crossing my fingers that this really holds off until after this weekend. And like I said, whatever happens, happens after that. This whole time, it's been whatever happens is God's decision, God's will. Maybe this baby was not going to be healthy and strong, and just God decided to take it away now before we get any farther along. But I'm still very hopeful for the future. So at some point today I should be getting the phone call from my doctor telling me probably that my HCG has dropped some, and then we'll just move forward from there. But just wanted to give you guys that update. I will see you guys in the next one. I probably won't be updating through the weekend, but on Monday I will let you guys know what happens. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being with me through this whole process and journey, and for all the prayers and good wishes. I still have faith that something can turn around, a miracle can happen, but we will just wait and see at this point. It's already in God's hands. It's been in God's hands. There's nothing I can do to control it at this point, so we will just see what happens. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I hope that your blessings are coming soon and your prayers are also answered very soon. I'll talk to you guys later.